Hello, my name is Andrew Hull. I'm the Director of Product Marketing with Right Now Technologies, and I have a big smile on my face at the moment because I have been stranded in Europe and specifically the UK for the last couple weeks. Came over for business travel, was planning to do a quick 2-day stopover in Amsterdam, which turned into a 17-hour ordeal to get back across the channel to London, and have been stuck here ever since, waiting for the airspace to open up. But what I learned through my own personal experience, dealing with the airlines and multiple travel carriers trying to get from Amsterdam back over to London, is just the fact that in today's world, companies are still challenged and they're still really having difficulty pulling true multi-channel experiences together for consumers. So whether they choose to interact with a company via the email or web or phone, chat, or increasingly social web outlets, companies are still struggling to have very cohesive, uniform strategies together to interact with customers. And my specific interest in this is right now is a software as a service company. We're a cloud-based software provider of customer experience solutions that are specifically built to address the web, the social, and the contact center touch points. And we really are that fabric in between a consumer and a company, those interactions. And many of our largest clients are some of the big travel companies in Europe, airlines. And what we found is they've seen a tremendous increase in the amount of activity coming in some cases a 2,000% increase in the web traffic. And solutions like ours have been there to help address those questions, have consistent answers available, whether a consumer is coming in via the web or email or the phone channel. And that's great, and we're really proud that our company can be part of that support environment in trying times like this, because everybody's frustrated, and just like me as a business traveler, I want to get home and see my family and kids as well. But what it reminds me of is also where businesses are still falling down. And one example is Twitter. It's a new social media outlet. Consumers are venting their frustration. In some cases, they're singing companies' praises where they've been taken care of and they've been rebooked and they're getting their travel arrangements taken care of, which is wonderful. But one example we saw recently, not a client of Right Now's, but they were doing their best. They honestly were trying to respond to a whole range of consumers about a travel situation, and they responded via email. But unfortunately, they left all the customers' emails in the to field, so they all saw each other's emails. The company was trying to do the right thing, but unfortunately exposed a lot of information, private email addresses that people would rather not have shared with people they don't know. That surfaced up on Twitter, and obviously a lot of consumers were upset about that. And I think the lesson to take away, just the real point that companies need to attend to as this emergency hopefully starts to settle down and companies can step back and say, what do I need to do differently, or what do I need to do in my own industry to be prepared for similar type events, is really look at how are you as a company providing great social web and contact center experiences. Are they connected? Can you understand if consumers are going to have a good experience if they're moving from one channel to the next? Just personally, on my travel from Amsterdam over to London, I used a phone at one point, used email at one point, was on the website at one point, all for different reasons and all because I was in a different situation. Sometimes I was in a hotel and the web via computer was the easiest way. Sometimes I was in a taxi cab and I needed to do that via phone. And sometimes email was okay on a BlackBerry device. And so I think it all just points to this need, and with many of us as consumers being very digitally connected, that companies have to have strategies in place and they need to be prepared to interact across multiple channels at any given time. And increasingly, if they also want to control costs, this is going to be a very costly endeavor for most of the European and international airlines. The more they can get those questions answered via the web or self-service channels, the more they can keep their call centers open to deal with the questions that truly have to be handled by a call center agent. And so I think there's just a lot of good lessons we're learning, and I'm also glad to know that right now is helping support our clients here in Europe and helping them deal with the tremendous amount of call volume and email and web volume they're experiencing today.